So hope you guys have a wonderful class day. No, just being supportive here. Okay.
Good morning, guys. Just a reminder that if your video is on, you will be removed from the class and then you will not be able to rejoin the class. Please switch your videos off immediately.
These people are gonna get removed like that. Oh, wait, see ya. Oh.
Morning, teacher. You can start your screen sharing for us, please.
Thank you so much. Morning.
Can you just speak up? I can monitor your sound quality.
All right. Is it better now?
That's much better. Thank you.
Oh, then I'm starting to share my screen just now.
There we go. And while we're doing that, just a reminder to all the learners to please keep their videos off. Should they switch their video on during the class, they will be removed and they will not be able to rejoin the class.
Okay. All right. Good morning, everyone.
No, teacher, just a moment. You are still not in full screen mode. Please just put yourself into full screen mode.
Okay. Or rather, must I now do that after you have counted me down?
No, click there. Yeah, it's fine. Click there. I want to, there we go. Okay, fine. Give me a second. I'm just quickly going to start the YouTube site.
Okay.
Okay, today is Tuesday, no?
Yes.
Okay, teacher, ready? And 3, 2, 1, go.
All right. Good morning, everyone. My name is Tabitha. and I am continuing with teaching the grade 6 math. Welcome to those who have joined us today. We have been doing math since lockdown. So today we have a new subject that we'll be looking at. Yesterday we did nets. We completed our work with nets and we're doing 3D shapes. So today we are starting a new subject, and I did not give a homework yesterday. All right, but I did ask that people should email me the homework that I gave last week, and I did not get anything. All right, so please, if you have completed that homework from last week Thursday, do send it through to my email so that I can be able to see that we are on the same page and we actually understanding what is being done. Okay. All right, so today we are looking at geometric patterns. All right, so by the end of this lesson, you should be able to investigate, copy and extend patterns. All right, so since we have started with the measurements and all the patterns that we did actually previously, our 2-dimensional shapes and 3-dimensional shapes, we'll still be looking at them. However, we'll be more on 2-dimensional shapes, right? Because geometric patterns are focused on more on the 2-dimensional patterns. Okay, so now I have here an example. Before I go that, before I do the example, let's first explain what actually do we mean by geometric patterns, or what are we looking at, or what are we looking for to be able to understand this geometric pattern. All right, so when we look at a geometric pattern, we look for the constant. All right, in other words, the increment number, or rather the increment by which it grows or shrinks it in each development in the sequence. All right, so we are looking for a constant, most probably a number that allows the pattern either to grow or to shrink, all right, in a sequence that we'll be looking at, all right, depending what the sequence is. So in order to describe a pattern in words, we need to establish how it grows, all right? Hence, we first need to look at a constant and then be able to see whether the pattern is growing or whether it's decreasing, and then we now are able to establish how it grows. All right, we can do this by drawing a flow diagram and recording number sequence in a table. All right, so here I have a pattern. All right, if you can quickly write for me on the chat box, we have pattern 1, pattern 2, and pattern 3. All right, if you can quickly write for me on the chat box and tell me, all right, these are matchsticks that I used here, right? So if you can tell me how many matches are in pattern 1, pattern 2, and pattern 3. How many matches in pattern 1, pattern 2, and pattern 3? If we can quickly write that on our chat box. All right, yes, for 1, Tristan says with pattern 1, we have 4 matches, and also Kennedy, Nokbonga noted. And then Ihsan, pattern 2, we have 8. Also Tristan. All right, we seem to be, okay, Ndubo says we have 4, 8, 12, meaning pattern 1, we have 4. And pattern 2, we have 8. And pattern 3, we have 12. Zano also agreed. All right. 4, 8, 12 years. All right, everyone seems to have the correct answer. It is 4, 8, 12. All right, we have 4 matchsticks in pattern 1. We have 8 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In pattern 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, now that we have noted that pattern 1, we have 4, pattern 2, we have 8, pattern 3, we have 12. Okay, now let's move on to our next slide. All right, now let us look at the following pattern, okay? first we need to establish how this pattern grows. We can see that 4 matches are added with each development. So we can describe this pattern as follows, right? That we have noted because we said pattern 1 has 4 matches, and we said pattern 2 has 8 matches, and pattern 3 has 12 matches. So we're able to identify that in each pattern, all right, we have 4, 8, 12. And when you look at it, you are able to say, okay, on the first one, we had 4. How many matches are added on the second one? For it to be 8 on the second pattern, 4 matches were added. Also on the third one, from the second development, how many matches were added there? It is 4. Yes, Tristan and Zamila have answered. It is 4 matches that are added. All right, so now we can look at this pattern, right, and say this is a pattern of squares. In each square is bigger than the one before it. Okay, this is what we have identified. Okay, the first one is smaller, the second one is bigger, and the third one is even bigger than the one before it. Okay, and we have noticed that there's 4 matches that are being added to each development, right? Okay, so now pattern 1, we say it has 4 matches. Pattern 2, it has 8 matches. Pattern 3 has 12 matches. Pattern 4 will have 16 matches, because now we are able to see that we have a constant. The constant is 4. All right, so each pattern grows. So if I had 4 on the first pattern, then I add that one, and then the second one will then automatically have 8, and the third one 12. So the fourth one will have 16 matches, and pattern 5 will then have 20 matches. Okay, all right, let's move on to our next slide. All right, it is as I've explained. The pattern above has a constant. We add 4 matches with each development. All right, we can use the constant to find how many matches each new pattern in the sequence will have. All right, we can use the constant to find out how many matches each new development or each new pattern in the sequence will have. All right, so in this example, we will use a multiple of 4. So in this example, we'll use a multiple of 4. Okay, so here is an example using pattern 1. All right, so pattern 1 has 4. So we'll multiply pattern 1 multiplied by 4. Okay, that gives us 4 matches. And then on pattern 2, we'll take it as number 2, the pattern number 2, and then we'll use the same constant, which is 4, and then we'll say 2 multiplied by 4 equals 8 matches. In pattern 3, we'll say 3 multiplied by 4 will have 12 matches. And then we'll say 4 multiplied by 4 for pattern 4, and then we'll have 16 matches. And then for pattern 5, we'll say 5, sorry that I made a mistake there by saying 4, it's supposed to be 5 multiplied by 4, and then it will give us 20 matches. All right, don't mind the mistake, it is supposed to be 5 because it is pattern 5, so it is 5 multiplied by 4. All right, so now when the pattern number of matches are given, we need to find the pattern number. We use the inverse operation. If we now have to find the pattern number, we will use the inverse operation. Remember, in our previous classes, we did inverse operations. We said if we are multiplying, the inverse of multiplication will be division. If you are adding, the inverse of addition will be subtraction. So here we say if you are given a number of matches and you need to find out the pattern number, then you will have to use the inverse operation. Okay, let me see. I think there's something there on the chat box so that I do not leave anyone behind. Okay, Right, I see everyone. Okay, everyone is agreeing. So we're on the same page. All right. Okay, good. All right, then now here's an example of how to use this inverse operation in this flow diagram. All right. With which pattern will have 36 matches? That's the example. That's a question that probably you will ask. So which pattern will have 36 matches? Now, for you to be able to use an inverse operation, your answer should be as follows. You are given the number 36, and then you take the number 36. You have a constant, which is 4, that you have been using to multiply so that you can get the number of matches in each pattern. So you take that number, which is the constant, which is 4. You use that number to divide the number of matches, right? You use the 4, which is a constant, to divide the 36 matches so that you are able to find the number, the number pattern that will have 36 matches. All right, so our answer is 9. Yes, that's correct. It will be pattern number 9. All right, so let's do another example. All right, which pattern will have 80 matches? All right, so which pattern will have 80 matches? You do the same thing. You take the 80 matches, you divide it by the number, which is constant. Remember, you were multiplying to get the number of matches, and now you have to divide to get the pattern number. So you take your 80, you are given 80 matches, divided by the constant, which is 4, and the answer will be 20. All right, so that is how we find the number pattern if we are given the number of matches, right? So pattern 20, you have to write this below. So pattern 20 will have 80 matches. All right, so let us move on to our, yes, that's correct. So let's move on to our next slide. All right, okay, so here is a flow diagram. This is an example of a flow diagram. All right, this is on the left here, it says pattern number. This here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 10, 20, it will be the pattern number. And the rule will be the constant number and the sign that we use to get our number of matches. So the rule will be multiplied by 4. That will be our constant number. And then the number of matches will be the output. We can sometimes say pattern number is an input, and then this is a rule, and then this is an output. Okay, so most of the times you'll be given the input or the pattern number. Most of the times you'll be given the pattern number, and you sometimes be given the rule that you have to use so that you can have your output or the number of matches depending on the pattern that is being used. All right, so here we can see that, all right, if we say our pattern number 1 or our input is 1, then we multiply that 1 by 4, the answer will be 4. 2 multiplied by 4, answer will be 8. 3 multiplied by 4, answer will be 12. 4 multiplied by 4, answer will be 16. 7 multiplied by 4, answer will be 28. 10 multiplied by 4, your answer will be 40. 20 multiplied by 4, your answer will be 80. All right, so you must always remember when you're doing your flow diagram, sorry about that. So always remember when you're doing your flow diagram to have your pattern number, rule, and your number of matches or whatever pattern is used. It can be beads, it can be anything that can be used. It can be circles, it can be stars. So your output, always make sure you have your output and always make sure you have your input. Okay. All right, then we move from the flow diagram. Remember we said when we started, for us to be able to give, for us to be able to describe the pattern in words, we have to first do the flow diagram and then use the table. All right, so from the information that we'll have from the table, sorry, from the flow diagram, we will just plot it here on the table. All right. It says here multiply patterns. Determine the following patterns. I used the input number 4. All right. Remember I said the number of pattern will be an input, and then the other one. There's a hand that is raised by Ryan. Do you have a question, Ryan? Do you have a question, Ryan? Or you can write it on the chat box. Ryan, do you have a question? You can always write it on the chat box. Okay, Ryan seems to have kept quiet. All right, let's continue with table. All right, as I said, with the table, the first basic thing that you can do is to plot the information that you have from the flow diagram. Okay. Remember, we used a rule which is to multiply by 4. So we know we have pattern 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 here for an example. And then at the bottom then will be our output, or rather the number of matches that we had for each pattern. So for pattern 1 we will have 4 matches, for pattern 2, 8 matches, 4, 16, pattern 6, 24, 8, 32, because remember we said 1 multiplied by 4, 2 multiplied by 4, 4 multiplied by 4, the answer is 16. So 6 multiplied by 4, answer is 24. 8 multiplied by 4, the number is 32. 10 multiplied by 4, it will be 40. 12 multiplied by 4, the answer will be 48. All right, so you are just plotting here the information that you're given. The information that you already have from your flow diagram, because you already used your rule there. So on the table, you can just be asked basic question that will be, it will be to draw a table and then plot the information that you have, or plot the data that you have in a table using the number of pattern and the number of the matches that you have. So this is how you will do it. It will be rather an input or an output. Okay, so let us move on to our next slide. All right, so here is our activity. Here's our activity. Name the polygon in the pattern. Let us look at the pattern, and you can write your answers in the chat box. Name the polygon in the pattern. Thank you, Kennedy. It is a square. Thank you so much. It is a square. All right, now our second question. How does pattern 3 develop from pattern 2? How does pattern 3 develop from pattern 2? All right, JD says +4, and Tristan says 4, and Kanye Sila says by adding 4. All right, that's correct. It is by adding 4. All right, on pattern 2 you had 8 matchsticks. So now when you add 4 on pattern 3, you have 12 matchsticks. Thank you so much for your answers. All right, now the third question. Our third question, how many matches will pattern 9 have? How many matches will pattern 9 have? All right, 36, yes. 36, 36, 36. Thank you so much for your answers. It is correct. It will be 36. All right, now let's complete the following. So you are given now the number of matches. You must find out the pattern number. So pattern, which pattern will then have 44 matches? Okay, I see JD 11. Someone says 12. I see people saying 10. Someone says 10. And others are saying 11. All right, the correct answer will be 11. Pattern 12 will have, sorry, pattern 11 will have 44 matches. Remember, we said for you to be able to find the pattern number, if you are given the number of matches, you then use the inverse operation. No, Rashidi, it is not 9 divided by 11. Let me explain it again. The inverse operation. So now you are given here 44 matches, right? And you have your constant, which is 4. So you take 44 matches divided by 4, and then your answer will be 11. That is why some people have 11 as the answer. It is not 10, it is not 12, but the correct answer is 11. All right. So the next one will be pattern so-and-so will have 60 matches. Which pattern number will have 60 matches? Here I see the Simone says 15. All right, most people are saying 15, pattern 15. All right, that's correct. Pattern 15 will have 60 matches. All right, you must always remember that whenever you are asked the number of a pattern, use the inverse operation. All right, so which pattern number will have 100 matches? We can have our hand, we can raise our hands. Because I see someone is trying to bomb our chat box there. Okay, I have Kanye still raised, who has raised the hand. Can we answer the third one?
Teacher, may I suggest that we do not take any
hands?
Raised hands at the moment. Unfortunately,
Okay,
it seems like we have got a couple of visitors, unwanted visitors. I am busy killing them off as we go along.
Not a problem then.
I will open the chat box again in the next couple of minutes.
All right then. Okay. Actually, we almost done, but what I can just continue and explain. All right. So we see that we have someone that's trying to bomb our chat box. So we're not going to be taking hands. Sorry, can you clear for that? And those who had their hands raised. So we will do the same inverse operation. So we'll have 100 divided by 4, and our answer will be 25. All right. So it will be 100 divided by 4, and the pattern number will be pattern number 25. All right. So what we have noticed here is that we have a shape of a polygon. All right. We were able to say that, okay, this is a square. Even though we have added 4 matches, the shape remains the same. That's what I want us to remember. Even though we have added the matches, the number of matches, even though we have added more matches, the shape must remain the same. All right. If we had to add 3 matches from pattern 1 to pattern 2, the development would have been something else. It would not have been constant. Hence, we were saying in the beginning, we must always check. The first thing that we do, we check for the constant. Okay, what is happening here? What is it that is making this pattern to grow? All right. So we noted that, okay, we are adding 4 matches. All right. So on each development, it must be 4 so that the shape can remain the same. All right. Otherwise, if we added 3, it would have given us a different shape. But because we are adding the same number of matches, so the shape as well remains the same. All right. So do keep that in mind, that whenever you are adding on a pattern, it must give you the same shape of the pattern, but it must be bigger or it must be smaller, but it must remain the same shape. Okay. All right. I have homework today that I'm going to give out. But this homework is basically preparing you guys for what we will be doing tomorrow. We'll still be continuing with patterns. However, there will be something different about tomorrow's pattern. All right. So the homework says Tabo uses beads to make a pattern of X's like this. Right. So we have a pattern of X's here. We have pattern 1, X2, X3, and X4. Right. So remember we said you must always, first thing that you do with a pattern, you check the constant. What is it that is being added on each pattern, right? So if Tabo here, for example, if Tabo continues, you're not going to answer me now, this is your homework, okay? This will be your homework, you're not going to answer me now. So if Tabo continues the pattern, how many beads will there be in X5? We have X1, X2, X3, X4. So if you have already identified the constant, you'll be able to answer how many beads will there be in X5. And also how many in X6, how many in X50, and how many in X60. All right, so this is your homework. You check your constant, but there is a trick that I want you to find on your own, because this is your homework. Now I want you to go there and make your research and find out why do we have a constant yet we have that yellow bead there in the middle. So what do we do with that yellow bead in the middle? What is going to be the rule? All right. So basically, I want you to find the rule. Remember, our rule was multiplying by 4 when it comes to our flow diagram. On the example that we did, the rule became the constant, which was 4, and we multiplied 4 to find the number of matches. So on this homework, you must find the rule for me. What is going to be the rule? Yes, there's a constant, but there's this one yellow bead. There is this one yellow bead that is going to change our rule. So this is your homework. So please go and do your research and then do your homework. This is basically the end of our lesson for today. So remember that we've learned about number patterns, and number patterns grow by a specific constant, right? And also that there is a rule that you have to apply to be able to get your output. All right. So if you have any if you have any questions for today's class, you are more than welcome to email those questions to my email address, which is abongolo@gmail.com. Those who wanted to ask questions but could not due to the fact that we had unwanted visitors, please email your questions to me and I will respond to your questions via the email. All right. Those who have just joined us, you are more than welcome to go to YouTube, search for today's lesson, or go to Africa 10 Gigs, and then you'll find the lesson there. All right. Those who were late in our class. Otherwise, have yourself a beautiful day and do the homework. Please scan your homework or take a picture of your homework and submit it to me via email. Take a picture of your homework, write it down in pen, take a picture, send it to me via email. Thank you so much for joining us today. Do enjoy the rest of your day. This is the end of our lesson.